So today I'm here with a very interesting guest. I'm here with AJ Wilcox, and AJ Wilcox is, heading up B2Linked. He's the founder of B2Linked, and we're going to be learning why he has such a big love for LinkedIn today. I don't want to take so much away of the business, right? Because I want to AJ give us a round introduction into what the folks are what the folks are cooking up on in regards to LinkedIn over there. So AJ, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much. Excited to be here, Lucas.
Awesome. So maybe give us a summary. Like, what is it all about that you guys are doing with B2Linked?
Yeah, so I mean, my background was a lot of different areas of digital marketing. I went really deep on SEO, on Google Ads, and at the last company I was at, I stumbled onto LinkedIn ads. And over the course of the 2.5 years I was there, I found that it was ultra successful, scaled it up, and took it to become LinkedIn's largest spending account in the world. And so after running that, I went, okay, there's got to be more companies out there that could just slay it on LinkedIn ads than just this one. And that's when I started B2Linked just about 6 years ago. And we're an ad agency that does only LinkedIn ads. For those who don't know, LinkedIn ads are pretty pricey when you compare them, especially to Facebook, but the targeting is so much better. So those high value B2B types of deals, I mean, LinkedIn is the right way to bring in the highest quality leads. And we help people do that with a lot less risk because we know the tips and tricks and all that.
Very cool. So tell us something about B2Linked. You mentioned already when you guys got started, but maybe something that characterizes the company. Maybe how many clients you're working with, or something that characterizes the team a little bit.
Yeah, so we're growing very quickly. We have about 15 people in our office here in Utah, in the U.S. So that's pretty exciting. And we've managed over $135 million in ads on the platform so far. Worked with over 400 accounts. So we just, we love big accounts, but we love the smaller ones and everything in between.
Very good. Who would be the types of clients? You mentioned, different sizes of clients, but, is there typical verticals, typical types of companies that you would be working in?
Yeah, I think it's less to do with the company size, but more to do with what a prospect would mean to them. So for instance, if when you close a deal, if the lifetime value of them is $15,000 or more, then LinkedIn ads is a total no-brainer to run. And so even if it's a very small company, but they have a high value prospect to target and they're capable of closing them, then we'd love to work with them. But we don't recommend running LinkedIn ads if you have a budget of less than about $5,000 a month. At least if you're targeting North American traffic. If you're outside, costs are lower, so your budget can come down. But yeah, that's what we recommend.
Makes a lot of sense. If we're thinking about somebody getting to know about B2Linked, like what's the typical journey somebody goes through in order actually to get to know about you guys? Like what's the typical client acquisition channels in turn that you guys are using?
This one's actually really embarrassing to answer because we're an ad agency who we're obviously hot on LinkedIn ads, but we don't actually use LinkedIn ads, at least not yet, for our own client acquisition. I do a lot of back when it was a thing before COVID, I did a lot of speaking at digital marketing events and conferences, and people come in through our YouTube channel, and I have a course on LinkedIn Learning. I have my own podcast called the LinkedIn Ads Show. And so anyway, lots of different ways that people would find us, and we just, we don't have any one channel that, blows them all away.
Makes sense. And in that orchestra of different sort of channels, what would you say is the role of the website? What role do you attribute to the page?
Well, the nice thing is that no matter what channel people find us through, they all go to the website. And so as you know, especially through like the service you provide, website is key for anyone and everyone. It doesn't matter how good my LinkedIn profile is or our LinkedIn company page. Eventually, they're going to come to the website. And if the website is a terrible experience, we're going to lose the deal.
Makes a lot of sense. Where do you see then at the moment the strength of the B2Linked website? Is it the ability to convert somebody once somebody's there? Is it the quality of the leads? Is it the experience you provide? Where do you see a strength?
We very much believe in transparency and honesty and not wasting people's time. So as opposed to many other agencies or B2B companies, if you go to our website, our pricing is listed right there. We're like You won't see sales fluff where we're over promising and potentially under deliver. We approach things very like straightforward. And if you're not going to be a good fit for LinkedIn ads, we tell you right up front. We don't try to like get your money before. So if you just consume the website, and if that really resonates with you, chances are you're going to be the kind of person that would want to deal with us.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. In turn, I have to ask this question because I love to ask it. Where do you see the room for improvement on the website, since the website is an ever-evolving, ecosystem?
Yeah, I think if you look at our website, it's been recently redesigned, but I still like the kinds of clients that we work with. We've worked with like 5 of LinkedIn's top 10 spending accounts, and if you look at our website, it doesn't scream like we service the Fortune 500 or like giant accounts. So I think design-wise, we've got a ways to go, and certainly like we want to keep adding more content to it as well.
Very cool, super interesting, and very reflective of you. What where you see the strengths and the the room for improvement. Is there something that you've done already to improve the page in regards to sort of the elements that you mentioned?
Yeah, I realize, especially for me, there's certain ways I like to consume content, and I don't like to read very much. So if you go to our website, you'll notice that 4 of the pages, probably the most often used pages, they have a little audio snippet. And so if you see this much text, but you go, I don't really want to read, you can just hit the play button and listen to me tell you, and not read the page, like it's a little bit different, but me just explaining the concept to you in a way that would probably be, I don't know, video is probably the next step, but I thought audio was a nice starter.
Very cool. Very cool. Coming back to your services, right? For everybody who's listening in, what would you say is sort of the main competitive advantage when going with B2Linked?
I spent about $30 million on LinkedIn ads before I was finally like, I get it. I understand this platform now. And so, now we've spent quite a bit more. And so our competitive advantage is we've figured out the system. We know how, even though LinkedIn ads is pretty expensive, we know how to get the lowest prices. We know the strategies to make things work. So when you do business with us, you're going to get the benefit of all that experience from day one. Whereas, anyone can go and open a LinkedIn ads account by themselves and give it a shot. But because the prices are high, it also means the risk is higher of making a mistake. So it's good, at least at first, to work with someone who can get you to a place where you avoid all the pitfalls.
Very cool. You mentioned a bit about the team at the very beginning. How would you say is a sales and marketing team structured if we look behind the curtains a little bit at B2Linked?
Yeah, up until very recently, I mean, we haven't had a sales team. So it's always been me fielding all the leads and trying to manage the team. So we've just undergone a restructuring that we think is going to help us scale a lot further than we could get with just my time. And quite honestly, I'm a terrible sales guy. So someone else is going to do a lot better. But we have a sales team who is taking the leads, nurturing them, bringing us in when they need to. And then our operations team is onboarding those new clients, getting them to an account manager who has enough bandwidth to run it. And, it's a pretty flat team. We don't do a whole lot besides just manage LinkedIn ads. So everyone on the team manages LinkedIn ads.
Very cool. Let's switch gears and learn about you a little bit as well. So what type of content actually do you consume? Like, how do you and where do you educate yourself in order to keep on top of your game?
I love education. Ever since I started learning about digital marketing, I couldn't get enough of it. And so I would read blogs, but I already told you I don't like reading very much, but blogs were the best way I could get educated on those topics. And then I stumbled on audiobooks and podcasts. So now it's embarrassing, but I'm probably subscribed to 35 different podcasts in order to keep up with them. Even though I spend a lot of time on my morning workouts, I'm listening to podcasts at 2.5 times speed, and I'm still not always able to keep up. So for me, podcasts are amazing.
Very cool. Since we're slowly coming to an end of the interview, I would love to jump into our rapid fire questions. Are you ready for those?
So ready.
Very good. What's the last book that you read, though?
It was actually a religious book called Dangerous Prayer. or dangerous prayers. So anyway, I know this isn't a religious podcast, but the last business book I read, I can't remember, but I could tell you like the last 8 business podcasts I listened to. So
give us one of them.
I love the social media marketing podcast by Social Media Examiner, Michael Stelzner. Yes. And yeah, I can't get enough of that.
Very cool. What's the one single thing that the companies focus on the most at the moment?
I think it's getting the message out to the world that we are the best at what we do. In the past, marketing has just basically been me sharing, and I can only talk so loud and reach so many people. But truly, our technology, our skills, our understanding of LinkedIn ads are so beneficial to so many companies that we need to get the word out to more people.
Very cool. If there would be no boundaries in technology, what would be the one thing you want to have fixed for the company today?
Oh, I would love to have more automated systems of where I can track like everything that's coming in the right way. And for us as account managers, I mean, we've built our own tools internally. Like if you know Google Ads Editor, we built the same kind of thing internally, but for LinkedIn ads. So I just want to make it so dead simple that, you know, nothing stops you from launching one ad or 1,000 ads at a time. And it's you know, all perfectly tracks down to the micro UTM parameter. That's my goal.
Super interesting. What's the last thing that kept you awake at night about the company?
So in hiring a sales team, and at the same time, you know, we're recovering from like the dip we took from COVID, and we brought on a growth consultant, and we hired 3 new people at the same time. Wow. So me as a very conservative founder, I'm going, oh, this is a lot, and yeah, we're doing well on cash reserve, so I have no reason to believe that it's not going to turn out well. But for me, bringing someone on who I'm responsible for their livelihood, it's a big responsibility, and I take it really seriously.
Very good. The last question that I would ask you is if today would be the very first day you know, starting to work on B2Linked, you know, very first day, nobody there helping, what's the one advice that you would give yourself?
I would say pass off your baby earlier. For the first year, I was afraid to hire anyone because I didn't think anyone else could manage LinkedIn ads as well as I could. Yeah. And I was like, I just want to give the best experience to clients. So we need the very best. And because of that, time got taken away from my family, and time got taken away from promotions. And same thing with sales. We're 6 years in, and I just hired a sales team. Yep. And I'm going to be so much more efficient, not being the one that hops on every call, and it's going to allow us to do so much more. So the things that are dear to you, just let them go a little earlier.
Very cool. AJ, I really appreciate that you took the time with us today to be on Pathfunk Presents. I want to give you the last word. If somebody would forget everything about, you know, B2Linked that we just discussed today, what's the one thing that they should remember about the company?
LinkedIn ads are expensive and they're hard, and we fix all that. We take it all off your plate.
Thanks for being with us on the show.
Absolutely. Have me back anytime, Lucas.